Okay, well, you're just probably not going to believe this. But what I did was, once I got all the posts installed, we measured the distance between them all. And the measurement was exactly 66 millimeters. 66 millimeters from post to post to post to post to post. A perfect, literally a perfect square of 66 millimeters. And as you can see, the only holes I drilled were the 4 holes at just whatever this diameter is. I couldn't even tell you. Isn't that funny? And the wing fits perfectly into those 4 holes. I centered the box on the underside of the wing, measuring first this overall distance between these 2 ribs, which was 70 millimeters. So we measured straight back from the front 25 millimeter to the center of that bar that goes across, and I'll show you that when I pull the wing off, and drew a center line down that bar, down that mounting piece of balsa. And then we centered from that line, we drew 66 millimeters down and made a mark, and 66 millimeters down and made a mark, and drew a straight line through those 2 marks, and that centered pretty much exactly on the second piece of balsa bar that was across. And then 66 millimeter from 70 left us with 2 millimeters on each side. So we measured in 2 millimeters from each side and 2 millimeters from each side, centered right down the center of the wing center section, and drilled our 4 holes. And don't you know that that thing literally dropped right into place, and the wing is square to the airplane in that direction. It is square to the airplane in this direction, and has the proper incidence to the airframe in this direction. I mean, it just couldn't have been crazier than that. So the wing mounting is done. All I have left to do now is primer everything. Again, the fuselage has been primered, but it's primer gray. This is the filler primer, surfacing primer. And what I want to do is hit it again with a white surface primer over this, and we're going to do both gray and white on the wing as well. So 2 coats of surfacing primer, first in gray, and that what the reason I do it in the gray first is so that I can clearly see where the voids are. If I do it in white overall first, I won't be able to see the voids, the shadows that are created by voids, by unevenness and so on, that the gray primer gives me. So the gray primer always goes on first, and in some cases that's all I need if the color I'm spraying is going to be dark. If we're doing olive drab, if we're doing a warbird or something, I can leave the gray. But in this case, our aircraft is going to be almost overall white, racing white, but a white nonetheless, and the white over gray just looks dingy. So we're going to do 2 coats. We're going to do a gray coat so that I can see what I need to fill if necessary in sand, then apply the white coat. The white filler coat also gets sanded with a 400 grit overall. The 400 grit just polishes it up, and then once that's done, then I can start applying color. But for all intents and purposes, I mean, we are just about ready to just go to town with paint. Now, I ran out of gray primer on the fuselage. I had to order some more. My local store is closed for the COVID-19 stay-at-home order. They're considered non-essential. Yeah, gun stores are essential, but a hobby shop where someone could go and buy a thing to keep them home and pass the time, that's non-essential, I guess. Anyway, I could be polishing my guns, I guess. Maybe go outside and brandish them if I wanted to. I mean, is pretty nuts. But at any rate, I don't brandish guns. I don't wave guns around. I'm not a gun nut. I build airplanes. That's what I do. So anyway, wow, that took a turn, didn't it? So we're just going to be painting now. We're going to be painting this up shortly, as soon as I get the primers shipped in. They're coming on Tuesday. In the meantime, I can finish up the strut. These cabanes have a cross member. Again, as I said in an earlier video, we're just going to use this thinner, smaller diameter, and this is round aluminum tubing. I just whack the camera with it. We'll be using that for just the crossbars on these end struts. What else? I have to finish up the cowling. I have to get that done, but I couldn't have been more surprised by the way the wing mounting is going. I mean, that was just phenomenal. So I'm really stoked about that. That's a real big win right there, just to plop those holes in and have that wing set right into place. I don't have to do any fiddling or anything. I'll take a few measurements, but to my eye, from all aspects, that wing looks like it's on there in the right place. So if there's any adjustment needed, it won't be much, and I'm extremely happy. I'll be pulling out those Gilmore decals from Cali pretty soon. I'll be going over those with y'all. Looking online to make sure I know exactly how they are applied. Apparently, even though they're peel and stick, the instructions on Cali's site indicate using some soapy water on the model itself, so that I can position those before they adhere. And I'm gonna bank on that. I'll try it on a test piece. I want to make sure if I line those up incorrectly, I can peel them, or at least slide them around into place. I don't want to be stuck with the instantaneous adhesion in the wrong location. I just don't want to have to be resurfacing this airplane once it's all painted. So there's that. I'll be cutting masks for the wheels and for the wing and for the tail. I'll need 2 masks for the wing, top and bottom. I'll need 4, one for each side of each wheel skirt, and then I'll need top and bottom and both sides of the rudder and elevators, so that we can just be left with that red ring that goes around each of the tail surfaces, the red ring that goes around the wing, leading and trailing edge and wingtip, and then the red borders on the wheel pants. I'll probably also need to spray red V onto the cowling, sides of the cowling, because that gold cowling stripe that goes on here is it's pretty fancy, and so I'm looking forward to doing all that. That is just right on. I couldn't be more happy about that. All right, I just wanted to show you guys that little bit of good news there. Later.